Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are going to finish off Act 2, Scene 3 today, hearing from the Tyrant King. So the Tyrant King is trying what he can to get Lady, and his first attempt was just sort of saying, "Be mine," and she was like, "No," so she and Gavainus are being sort of held captive in Gavainus' house. But we know from an earlier scene that they're not really captive. They have a fair amount of freedom in that house. So then the Tyrant King sent Helvetius, Lady's father, to try to convince her to come and be with him, or at least be his mistress. And she flat out refused, and Gavainus fired off a pistol, and Helvetius eventually came around to be like, "What am I doing pimping out my daughter?" So in Act 2, Scene 3, Helvetius has come back into the court and told the Tyrant King, "No, I'm not going to pimp out my daughter." And the Tyrant King very much did not like that response. So he has had Helvetius stripped of all of his titles and arrested. The guards have just taken him out to put him in prison. And all of Helvetius's titles have now been given to Siphonorus because he was the closest sycophant that said, "Hey, yes, I will happily take that." And Siphonorus also thinks that he can go and convince Lady to come and be with the Tyrant King. And he offered up his own wife as collateral, which was kind of weird. But the king was like, "No, you don't have to do that." So anyway, Gavainus has just been taken out to go to prison. And Siphonorus and the Tyrant King are the only ones still there. Siphonorus has a bit of an aside where he's just like, "I really don't want to get on this guy's bad side." And the Tyrant King says, "I would fain send death after him, but I dare not. He knows I dare not. That would give just cause of her unkindness everlasting to me. His life may thank his daughter. Siphonorus, here, take this jewel, bear it as a token to our heart's saint. 'Twill do thy words no harm. Speech may do much, but wealth's a greater charm than any maid of words. And, to be sure, if one or both should fail, I provide farther. Call forth those resolute fellows whom our clemency saved from a death of shame in time of war for field offenses. Give 'em charge from us. They arm themselves with speed, beset the house of Gavainus round, that if thou failst, or stayst beyond the time thou leav'st with them, they may with violence break in themselves and seize on her for our use." So this is kind of a scary thing. The Tyrant King has gone from starting out the scene being half of Abbott and Costello to being kind of scary guy. He says that he wishes he could kill Helvetius for this, but he knows that if he kills Helvetius, then that's an excuse for Lady to hate the Tyrant King for the rest of her life, because the Tyrant King would have killed her dad. So he's like, "Siphonorus, here, take this jewel to Lady and see if that can convince her, because I'm sure you have some pretty words that you can convince her with, but pretty, shiny, wealthy things of value are often greater persuasive tools than words alone." And he's like, "And just in case neither your words nor the pretty shiny things work, I want you to go and gather up a crew of ruffians, some people that we've pardoned for war crimes. Gather them up, tell them to arm themselves, have them surround Gavainus' house. And if she decides not to come out, or if you stay in there too long, then they can come in and by force take her out." And he says, "and seize on her for our use," which it makes me a little bit concerned for her safety as a woman. I don't think that there's already nothing consensual about this relationship, but this says to me that the Tyrant King is not at all considering consent as he is thinking about his lust in terms of Lady. So not only is he saying he wishes he could kill Helvetius, and he's going to try to bribe Lady, but also if Siphonorus tries to take advantage of Lady or tries to take Lady for himself or anything like that, then these ruffians also have permission to go in and just take her out, sort of regardless of Siphonorus. So this is also a warning to Siphonorus, like sort of make sure that you don't overstep as you're trying to get Lady out of here. So then Tyrant King goes off because he's given his orders. He doesn't need to give any more orders. And Sophonorus is like, yeah, I kind of hope that none of the guys that I'm going to round up take her for themselves, because that would be bad. He's like, I employed a guy that kind of did that once, but my wife liked him, so oh well, that was the thing. And that's the end of the scene. So we're dealing with some class act kind of people here. But yeah, in sort of the common parlance, that escalated quickly. We now have Helvetius in jail and an angry mob, essentially, going to get Lady to make her come and sleep with the Tyrant King. How do we think this is going to turn out? Yeah, it's not called the Second Maiden's Comedy for a reason. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.